Hi, and welcome to the Addressing Elopement PD video. My name is Sarah Martin, the Student Support Services TOSA in Palm Springs Unified. For our purposes, elopement is defined as when an individual runs away from or leaves a supervised area. When addressing elopement in your classroom, do your best to determine the function of the elopement behavior. Usually, elopement is done to escape a task or meet the need of the student to move. The function of your student's behavior is individual to them. The process we will be talking about today for addressing elopement is prevent, teach, reinforce, individualize, and communicate. Starting with prevention, you want to create an environment which limits opportunities for the student to elope. Some strategies are: evaluate the setup of your classroom. Where are the exits? Where does the student sit in relation to those exits? Then, create a safe space in your classroom and create a safe space just outside of your classroom. Create a movement plan for your students as well. And create lessons and activities that are engaging to all students. When you're considering the prevention strategies I just mentioned, you want to use the safe spaces when the function of the behavior is to escape a task or demand. Use the movement plan and lesson design strategies if you notice that your students express a need for movement breaks throughout your lessons. The next step is to explicitly teach your students how to access the interventions you've put in place. Teach your students to use the preventative measures that you've built. Social narratives, also known as social stories about elopement, are also useful. Explicitly teach and practice how your students can access the safe spaces that you've created. Use social narratives to teach a wide variety of skills to learners who need support. Teach your procedures for transitioning and refine the process to meet the needs of your specific students. The next step is to reinforce. Positively reinforce students when they meet your expectations. Use verbal and nonverbal praise to reinforce the students. Create a reinforcement plan or schedule, then follow it. Your classroom-wide reinforcement plan should indicate how often students will be rewarded and what the rewards will be. You can let your class know that when they use the safe space, then return to the class activity without causing any interruption, they can receive an incentive such as points or tangibles. The next step is to individualize as needed. Create an individualized plan for students whose needs are not being met with the prevention strategies you've implemented. Create a schedule for that student to use the safe spaces if needed. Prompt the student to use the safe spaces if needed. Create a signal that the student can use, and individualize your reinforcement to meet the student's preferred mode of praise. Something to keep in mind is that hopefully the students are using the safe spaces and other strategies to reset when they are dysregulated and hopefully come back successfully to the group. If you notice that the student follows some of the individualized steps for accessing these strategies, praise them. Focus on what the student is doing right. Above all, build the relationship with your focused students and show them how much you care about their success. The next step is to communicate. Share the plan and strategies with all adults who may access the student throughout the school day. and be sure to revise the plan as needed. Some adults who may need to have this plan shared with them include specials teachers, the librarian, paraprofessionals, yard duty supervisors, cafeteria staff, front office staff, administration, counselors, and so many more. Remember that this plan is individualized to a specific student, and to give them the best chance of success, it's important that we communicate the plan with as many people as we can. Thank you for taking the time to watch this PD video. I hope that you're able to use some of the strategies discussed.